Welcome to Learn Bible Languages, where we explore God's Word in multiple languages to grow in faith and deepen your language skills. Today, we're diving into something really fascinating. It's a collection of daily wisdom from Scripture, specifically a set of Bible verses for the week of August
2430. And our mission really is to explore these texts, which are presented in both English and Spanish, to uncover some, unique perspectives.
Right.
Looking at them through this dual language lens can truly deepen understanding.
Okay.
It's a path to both spiritual reflection and actually linguistic enrichment, too.
Exactly. It's more than just, reading the words. It's like an immersion. You start to see subtle layers of meaning, maybe cultural nuances.
Yeah.
Sometimes even just a slightly different emphasis in the Spanish phrasing can really enrich how you connect with these ancient words. It's almost like faith meets forensic linguistics.
I love that, forensic linguistics. Okay, let's jump right in then. Sunday, August 24th. It starts with a pretty profound call to service. Our first verse is Matthew 25.45 in English. Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me.
Wow.
I mean, it's incredibly direct. It connects our actions, or maybe our inaction, directly to Jesus himself.
It really does.
So who do you see as the least of these today in our communities? And what does this verse really demand from us?
Well, the power here is just how non-negotiable it feels. And the Spanish version, let me read that. Entonces le responderá diciendo, De cierto os digo que en cuanto no lo hicisteis a uno de esos más pequeños, tampoco a mí lo hicisteis. It just hammers home that same identification. It's not like a friendly suggestion to be kind. It feels more like a statement of spiritual accountability.
Right.
And the least of these, it's not just the obviously suffering. It could be the overlooked, the marginalized, maybe even the inconvenient people in our lives.
That really shifts the focus.
Yeah, I think the nugget here is that true spiritual standing isn't just about belief. It's measured by tangible compassion for the most vulnerable. It actually reflects how we care for the divine itself.
That puts our daily interactions in a completely new light, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And that leads perfectly into the second verse for Sunday, Ephesians 2.18. For through him we both have access by one Spirit unto the Father.
Access.
Yeah, this idea of access feels really key. The Spanish is, porque por medio de los unos y los otros tenemos entrada por un mismo Espíritu al Padre. So how does having this unified access, this entrada, empower that call to service we were just talking about?
Well, this verse kind of provides the theological bedrock for that compassionate action. Entrada in Spanish. It's not just permission. It feels more like a unified pathway. It dissolves all those old barriers to, divine communion.
Okay.
So the connection is really profound. This access through one Spirit doesn't just grant us a relationship with God, it actively empowers and fuels the kind of selfless service that Matthew is commanding.
So they work together.
Exactly. The takeaway. Our direct spiritual access isn't just for personal comfort. It's the actual power source for doing impactful, compassionate things in the world.
Wow, what a compelling synergy between those two verses. Okay, let's move into Monday, August 25th. Here, the focus seems to shift a bit more towards a personal exploration. Like, how do we align our own sense of purpose with a greater calling? And often, it seems, through acts of surrender.
That sounds right.
The verse is Proverbs 27.8. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that wandereth from his place.
Vivid imagery.
Right. The wandering bird. It evokes such a feeling of restlessness, maybe even vulnerability. What does his place really mean here? It feels like more than just a physical spot.
Definitely. And the Spanish, cual ave que se va de su nido, paints that same picture of being, unmoored, adrift.
Yeah.
His place isn't just geographic, it's more about your role, your calling, maybe even your moral and spiritual center. So to wander from it, like that bird from its nest, it implies a loss of security, purpose, maybe even well-being. It kind of encourages you to think about the consequences of drifting, maybe in your career or relationships or even your core values.
So stability matters.
Yeah, the insight might be that true belonging isn't found in just constant movement, but in finding a stable alignment with your sort of intrinsic purpose and moral compass.
That makes a lot of sense. And then Monday gives us this stark, but maybe complementary perspective with Luke 22.42. This is Jesus' prayer in Gethsemane.
Yes. Powerful moment.
It says, saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. I mean, that's just raw emotional honesty, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That plea, remove this cup, but then followed by the ultimate act of surrender.
It really is. The Spanish is diciendo, Padre, si quieres, pasa de mí esta copa, pero no se haga mi voluntad, sino la tuya. That pasa de mí esta copa emphasizes the, visceral, personal desire to avoid suffering.
Yeah, you feel it.
But the pivot, no se haga mi voluntad, sino la tuya, that's the ultimate act of aligning yourself with a higher will and connecting this back to Proverbs. Sometimes your place isn't comfortable. Sometimes it involves immense suffering or going against what you personally desire. So maybe the deeper point is that genuine purpose can often be found not by avoiding your cup of challenge, but by surrendering your own will to a greater divine design.
That's a really powerful way to link those two seemingly different verses. Okay, moving on to Tuesday, August 26. Here we encounter some really unexpected roles and companions.
Okay.
First verse, 2 Kings 11.21. 7 years old was Jehoash when he began to reign.
7 years old.
I know, a 7-year-old king. It definitely makes you pause.
Yeah.
What does this even imply about leadership or destiny?
It is astonishing, isn't it? The Spanish is just as direct. De 7 años era Joás cuando comenzó a reinar. The Hebrew tradition often highlights God's ability to use the most unlikely people.
True.
And context helps here. Jehoash was initially guided by the high priest, Jehoiada. So the story isn't necessarily about the child's inherent wisdom, but maybe more about divine orchestration and the critical influence of wise counsel. Perhaps the insight is that leadership, no matter the age or experience, can arise from unexpected situations and often needs guidance to thrive.
That makes sense, needing guidance.
Yeah.
And speaking of unexpected company, the second verse for Tuesday gives us a really somber contrast. Luke 23.32.
Okay.
And there were also 2 other malefactors led with him to be put to death. So here's Jesus being led to execution alongside common criminals.
A stark image.
What does this juxtaposition tell us? About his mission, maybe?
It's a profoundly important image. The Spanish llevaban también con él a otros dos, que eran malhechores, is equally blunt. This isn't just a minor detail. It feels central to Jesus' humility, his mission to identify with humanity at its lowest point. He literally walks with the condemned. So maybe the takeaway is that the divine often shows up not by separating from the broken, but in profound solidarity, sharing the experience of the marginalized.
Wow, a lot to reflect on there. Okay, let's transition to Wednesday, August 27th. Thinking about timeless beauty and our earthly impact.
Interesting combination.
First verse is Ecclesiastes 3.11. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end.
Ecclesiastes, deep stuff.
Definitely. Everything beautiful in its time is lovely, but then he hath set the world in their heart. That feels like a profound tension, doesn't it? We long to understand, but we can't fully grasp it.
And this is where looking at both languages is so revealing. The English, he has set the world in their heart, kind of suggests an innate human curiosity, right? To understand the mechanisms of creation, our place in it.
Yeah, like wanting to figure it out.
But the Spanish version, todo lo hizo hermoso en su tiempo, y ha puesto eternidad en el corazón de ellos. It uses eternidad, eternity.
Eternity, not world.
Right. Ha puesto eternidad en el corazón de ellos. This shifts the emphasis slightly, maybe towards a yearning for the timeless, the infinite, not just understanding the present world.
That's a significant difference.
It is. So the nugget might be that these translations together reveal this dual human longing. We want to comprehend and master our finite world, but we also yearn to connect with something eternally beyond it. It's like the paradox of our existence.
That distinction between world and eternity is incredibly insightful.
Wow.
Okay, from that profound mystery, we pivot to something very practical. Responsibility. Matthew 5.3.
The salt of the earth.
Exactly. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out, and to be trodden under foot of men. Such a vivid metaphor. What does it mean for us to lose our savor, our effectiveness?
This is straight from the Sermon on the Mount, a call to have a real influence. Historically, salt was vital. Preservation, flavor, purification.
Right,
So, being salt of the earth means you're called to preserve goodness, add spiritual flavor to life, bring a purifying influence. The Spanish, vosotros sois la sal de la tierra, pero si la sal se desvaneciere. Desvanecer suggests it's faded, lost its essential quality.
Like it's become useless.
Exactly. The warning is stark. The point seems to be, our purpose is to actively transform and preserve the good in society. If we lose our distinct beneficial influence, we become, useless to that mission.
That's a potent warning indeed. Okay, that brings us to Thursday, August 28th. This day seems to contrast seeking goodness with facing envy.
Another interesting pair.
First verse, Psalm 119.68. Thou art good and doest good. Teach me thy statutes. It's such a beautiful, direct prayer, isn't it? Acknowledging God's goodness is the very reason for asking for instruction.
It really is. It's a foundational statement in Psalm 119, which is all about celebrating God's word. And the Spanish, bueno eres tú y bienhechor, enséñame tus estatutos, that word bienhechor, benefactor, doer of good, really underscores it.
Right.
The logic is, because God is good and does good, we can inherently trust the guidance we get through his statutes. It's simple but profound.
So recognizing the goodness comes first.
Yeah, maybe the insight is that recognizing divine goodness isn't just like an observation. It's the essential first step to humbly seeking and accepting guidance for our own lives.
And then we get this jarring human contrast, Genesis 37, verses 19 and 20.
Joseph's brothers.
Yes, and they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams.
Chilling.
It is. That plot, the malice behind this dreamer cometh, you can almost feel the envy boiling over.
It's the dramatic start to Joseph's incredible story. The Spanish, y dijeron el uno al otro, y aquí viene el soñador, delivers that same sneering, taunting malice.
Yeah.
It just vividly unpacks human jealousy, betrayal, a stark contrast to the song's focus on goodness.
Right.
And the dramatic irony is just undeniable, isn't it? Their attempt to crush his dreams is the very thing that sets the stage for them to come true, just not how they imagined. It kind of shows the futility of fighting against a bigger plan.
Right. Human malice versus divine purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, heading into Friday, August 29th, the themes seem to be bold prayer and resilience.
Okay, let's hear it.
First up, 1 Chronicles 4.10. And Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, Oh, that thou wouldst bless me indeed, and enlarge my coast, and that thine hand might be with me, and that thou wouldst keep me from evil, that it may not grieve me. And God granted him that which he requested.
The prayer of Jabez, famous short passage.
Yeah, his prayer is so specific, so bold.
Yeah.
And the answer is immediate. God granted him that which he requested. What can we take from this brevity and directness?
Well, Jabez is barely mentioned otherwise, right?
Right.
He pops up in the genealogies, yet his prayer gets this focus, emphasizing that it worked. The Spanish says, Oh, si me dieras bendición y ensancharas mi territorio. That, ensancharas mi territorio, enlarge my territory, could be literal land or maybe influence, opportunity, capacity for good.
Interesting. Broader scope.
Yeah. It's bold because he asks for more than just survival. He asks for expansion and divine protection, or the nugget. Maybe that humble yet specific and bold prayer can unlock unforeseen blessings and widen your sphere of influence straight from God.
Asking specifically and boldly. Got it. And then Friday gives us a dose of reality, perhaps.
Right.
Proverbs 24.16.
Ah, yes.
For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. I just love this message of resilience. Falleth 7 times and riseth up again. It's not about not falling.
Right, it's about getting back up.
Exactly. It's the consistent act of rising.
This proverb hits the reality of faith and life squarely. The Spanish porque 7 veces cae justo y vuelve a levantarse explicitly highlights that recovery. Vuelve a levantarse. So even with bold prayers like Jabez's, challenges, setbacks, they're inevitable. The key isn't avoiding the falls, but having that inner fortitude, that justness to recover and keep going.
While the wicked stay down.
Exactly. They seem consumed by their troubles, lacking that resilient spirit. So the takeaway is powerful. Resilience isn't the absence of failure. It's the unwavering commitment to rise again. That's the core strength that turns setbacks into stepping stones.
What an empowering thought to carry forward. Okay, let's wrap up the week with Saturday, August 30th. Focus here seems to be perseverance and mission.
Bringing it home.
First verse,
Yeah.
2 Thessalonians 3.13. But ye, brethren, be not weary in well-doing. Very direct encouragement. But it also implies a challenge, right? Well-doing can be tiring.
Oh, absolutely.
The call is to persevere even when you're worn out.
It's profoundly practical, this exhortation, and it connects right back to Friday's resilience theme. The Spanish is equally direct. Y vosotros, hermanos, no se canséis de hacer bien. Don't get tired of doing good.
Simple command.
Yeah. Doing good consistently takes sustained effort. It is exhausting sometimes. This verse is a reminder that the call to positive action is ongoing. Perseverance itself is a virtue that has to transcend our natural fatigue.
We'll keep going.
Right. The nugget. Our call to goodness is a marathon, not a sprint. Consistent, unwearied effort is the mark of real commitment.
And finally, we reach the climax of our week, a truly profound declaration of purpose, Luke 4:18.
Jesus' mission statement.
Yes, the spirit of unbelief of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised. Just outlining the incredible breadth of his purpose.
It's huge. And this verse where Jesus quotes Isaiah, it's essentially a comprehensive definition of that well-doing Paul talked about.
Good connection.
The Spanish paints the same vivid picture.
El Espíritu del Señor está sobre mí, por cuanto me ha ungido para dar buenas nuevas a los pobres. Me ha enviado a sanar a los quebrantados de corazón, a pregonar libertad a los cautivos y vista a los ciegos, a poner en libertad a los oprimidos. It's all about active, compassionate intervention.
Right.
And it pulls together so many threads from the week, doesn't it? Serving the least of these from Matthew.
Yes.
The empowering spirit from Ephesians. The very reason why we shouldn't get weary in well-doing, it's like the ultimate template for impactful, compassionate action. It defines what it really means to heal, free, and uplift humanity.
What an incredible journey through this week's verses. They're diverse, yet so interconnected when you look closely.
They really are.
It's genuinely amazing how much richness, how much fresh understanding you can get by looking at these texts in both English and Spanish.
Really.
Each language seems to offer just a slightly different texture, a unique nuance that deepens the whole reflection. It helps you see these ancient words with new eyes.
That's the beauty of it. The enduring power of these words is how they can speak directly to you right now in your modern life, reinforcing these timeless themes. Service, resilience, purpose, the transformative power of faith. It doesn't matter which language you approach it through first. It's a conversation across millennia, and exploring the language itself just adds another layer.
So as you, our listener, reflect on this deep dive, maybe think about what single verse or theme from this week really resonated with you, stuck with you on your current journey.
Yeah, what's the one nugget you'll carry into this next week? Maybe something that guides your decisions or just shifts your perspective a little.
And perhaps consider how continuing to explore these texts, maybe even looking into the original languages or just another language you know or are learning.
Right. How might that empower your own path of growth and understanding in the week ahead? There's always more to discover when we open ourselves to these linguistic and spiritual layers.